Hello, everybody. This is Karen.
And I'm Mae.
And we are from Boomers
To
to
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z. So today we're going to talk about some very significant changes in the fashion line, especially, I don't think I'm very fashionable, but what I used to wear when I was younger and what May is wearing now and how that has evolved. So stick around and we'll be back soon. So, May, when what's your fashion sense these days?
I think it's like boho in a way. I don't know if boho is just a way of saying lazy. I like very baggy clothes,
Okay.
very neutral colors. And then I like to accessorize. So I think that's...
What's your go-to accessory?
I like beads and very earthy tones like yellows and oranges.
Oh, okay.
Very semi-hippie, but not hippie, you know?
Okay. So I grew up where being a hotel person, worked in a hotel before. My training, my background was always that we have to be impeccably dressed.
Okay.
So for many years, even wearing flip flops was a no.
Okay.
So I think my first pair of flip flop and open toed shoes was around my 30s.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
You did not live.
So it's so strange because I see like you guys now, right? Everywhere, everyone's wearing flip flops.
Yes. It's like an essential thing. Like I would wear flip flops with jeans, shorts, dresses.
No.
Yes. In this weather, some more like...
Oh, I think that if I like that look where you have a nice pair of jeans and then you wear a nice pair of stilettos with it. That makes everything look very chic,
right?
Very chic. So that's my style. And in terms of because in part of my training, grooming is super important, so we always have to look very impeccable. It's first impression counts kind of thing, and that I always had tailored outfits because it was just the nature of my job. So and that kind of translate into my personal life as well. I noticed that the younger generation now, especially with the gig economy, dressing up is not so there.
We're
So
very
explain.
I think that everyone is sort of there's so many different styles going on right now. A lot of people are actually going back into the 90s.
Okay.
I think everyone's trying to have their own thing, but at the same time, we have very limited options in Malaysia, so people just tend to go and shop in the same places. So then if you notice, everyone after a while is wearing the same thing. So when Uniqlo opened, in Penang, everyone wears that long sleeve neutral tops.
Right. Yeah.
It just becomes something that there's no really trend. Everyone's just very chinchai, very simple.
And don't you think that with the fact that we work from home a lot,
so you don't need to dress up.
Yeah, and I find that generally people just they may wear something nicer at the top because they're in the camera, and then after that they're wearing a pair of shorts or sweatpants, that kind of thing at the bottom half. So I find that a little strange, I have to admit. But the involvement of dressing up is, I mean, the I think for someone older generation, I do believe that it's very important that we dress up a certain way because first impression does count. But at the same time, that also like we talked about last week about the environment and all that, and we are definitely the generation that was a little bit too materialistic and getting all these material things, and I kind of agree with the young generation that we don't have to always have the most expensive item to wear. And what do you think of that?
Yeah, because I think that if we go back to the environmental topic, so if you didn't catch that episode, it would be
go follow and listen to that one.
Yeah, but I think waste of materials is a big contributor, right? You see those horrifying pictures.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't say that my generation doesn't contribute to it. I think that we do like luxurious things, but we just spend on different things like travel. We don't really care about looking good so much. But then with that said, when we go into another environment, like if you put us like in London or something, you suddenly see all the nice budget come out. Because we're very like cautious about what are people
what
going
society
like fitting in.
Right.
Whereas like here, like you said, we work from home, and now that Gen Zs are also taking over the office, it's like very casual wear to office.
Very
also.
casual, definitely. Very
like even
casual.
corporate offices, like some places they're still very casual. Like they have beanbag sections, pool tables, pool chill out rooms.
I think if you are 50 something like me, something like that would not have existed during our time, because no way our boss would let us slouch around the beanbag while we do our work. Definitely something, but I do have to admit there's one thing that it took me a while to get used to it, which is I noticed in Europe, and I believe in Malaysia is starting as well, where quality clothes are sold secondhand. Yeah, and so like in Europe they actually have what's the term about vintage.
Like charity shops?
It's not. I mean, it's not charity shop. It's legitimate business.
Okay.
But they call it vintage shops, right? Okay. So they sell like good quality. I mean, perhaps good brand, good quality, but maybe still can be used. And I think it's really great because then you can always wear something still nice.
Yes.
And you're not contributing so much to the environment, right?
Yes.
So, do we have anything in Malaysia that I'm not aware of?
No, not that I know of. I know that you can rent clothes here. Like if you have like an event to attend, you can rent like ball dress. It's called Rent a Dress.
Okay.
But besides rentals, I don't think that there's anywhere to buy secondhand stuff unless you go to like Bundle. Bundle is like these big warehouses where like you can actually trade in your clothes for like a little bit of money, and people can go there and buy like some branded items. It's like a vintage like warehouse, so you can find all types of stuff in there, but you have to spend time to search.
Right.
But like how you said that like you really spent money on like keeping yourself looking prim and proper. I think that our generation, we do care about our shoes, and I think that we care about like sneakers.
Okay,
I think that's which is also not really a formal thing, right? Like we would go to work in like, okay, what sneakers? Different types of sneakers. And that's the trend for us. Comfortable.
Yeah, I have to admire that because the young generation, I mean, of course we are generalizing here, is that in general, you would favor comfort over the looks. And I think in our generation, we would squeeze ourselves into some tight-fitting outfit because we have to look a certain way. So it takes that shift as well.
Yeah.
And so I was in the UK recently, and I visited one of these so-called vintage shops, and they had great things. I noticed a lot of people were all looking at, you cannot believe this. And I was, in those days, I was a bit, I wouldn't wear them. So bell bottom.
Yes.
And all these really psychedelic jackets and off the rack. I personally would not look into it, but there were loads of people looking at them, and the colors were awesome, and it just brought me back to that 1960s, 1970s era, which is super cool. And and then big chokers as well.
Yeah.
Is that the in thing right now?
It is. So it's actually really going back. So if you go to like H&M today, the jeans that they have on display, you know how they always have a selection of jeans for like, I don't know, maybe 3 months?
Right.
It's actually bell bottoms now.
Okay.
So that is the in thing now. Like bell bottoms and like glitter tops.
Oh, it's so psychedelic. And how would what is your go-to shop that you would normally buy?
So like I actually really like Zara, but there's no Zara in Penang.
No.
But I love Zara. I think the quality is really good, and you can get like a mix of like corporate and also chilled clothes. Because actually like work slacks, we wear them to clubs now. So you wear like work slacks with like a work blouse, like an oversized blouse, and that's like a clubbing outfit.
That's a clubbing outfit?
Yeah, it's a clubbing outfit.
Okay, we got to talk about that. I have not been clubbing for a long, long time now. So what is, when you were pregnant with Zan, just and because you are a young mom, what would your maternity wear be like?
So I didn't actually specifically buy any like maternity clothes. I think the only thing that I did invest in was changing my bras.
Oh, okay.
Because it was just so uncomfortable.
Right, yeah.
But in terms of, I really dressed down. I didn't accessorize very much. I wore very like loose fitting dresses. Yeah, it wasn't very. It was like 3 outfits on rotate.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Yeah.
And then just lounging at home in like whatever still fits with your stomach sticking out a bit. You're just like, okay, this works. What about yourself?
For me,
when you're pregnant,
I go back to, let me put the scenario. It's like I was still working, so I was still very prim and proper in terms of my outfit. So I actually had proper, outfit made for pregnancies.
Okay.
And boring, very boring. So I kind of, I wish if I were to have change, I would go back to more casual kind of outfit and breathable material, because when you're pregnant, you're hot all the time. So so those days I just wish it was a bit more casual about it, in that sense. But I also notice now that with menopause, although I'm very active and I keep myself physically active, I do notice that the midsection is still growing a little bit more. The muffin tops. And so I have resigned to the fact that, it is part of my body changing. And I think that is, as with yourself, you were a beauty queen before. And I'm sure now that you think, oh no, I put on weight, but that's part of life, right? And you just have to accept it and make sure that you're healthy, obviously. Yeah. And so I've changed my style, a lot more two-piece items and shift dresses.
What's a shift dress?
So basically, it's just like, I like V-necks and then straight cut something, but always spending on good quality material instead. So it's always still kind of have a nice look, but without being so tight and allowing my tummy to breathe. I call my tummy Esther. I know I named this Esther. And Esther has a life of its own. So Esther would just appear, and then there are days where it's very bloated, and I'm sure when you have PMS, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure what you call yours, but my Esther have a life of its own.
Mine's called annoying. There's no endearment. But I think like one thing that was really important is like when your body shifts so much, right? I think that as women or men as well, like we need to not try to sort of dress the way that we used to. And like embrace it. If not, you're gonna make yourself really sad.
Very miserable. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been in that space before where I kept thinking, oh no, but it was the thing is, we got to understand. For me, the weight didn't shift, but the shape of the body shape changes.
Yeah.
And that's actually beyond what we can do. And I'm lucky because I'm not I don't take sugar at all. I'm not a sweet person, so that helps, especially going through menopause and all. And I exercise and all, but even that, the body still shifted. There's still little
it's like
thing.
Stubborn fats that you just can't.
Yeah, exactly. So it's quite interesting in that sense, because when you go through menopause, there's also a sense of realization, and that you kind of say, although I'm not giving up to look good, I am saying, okay, my body has changed. I just have to look good in another way.
Yes. And I think that it's very obvious to see like women who have embraced that change, because you can see another element of confidence with them. Like I have some like aunties and stuff who I love very like dearly, but they're so focused on that their 40s phase that they don't want to let go of it, and they try and try and try, and honestly like they end up not looking the way they want to and feeling very ridiculous. And it's just like this, and you try to tell them, no, it's okay, like we can get a size bigger, so that you can sit down comfortably. You buy all these new clothes, you sit down, your pants cannot
you can't.
Yeah. So like, and it also looks nicer, right? Because I think like women who are older, like there's a certain elegance that comes out from them, like a very natural elegance, this warmth that us youngsters feel around them.
Right.
And when they embrace that in the way that they style themselves,
Yeah.
I think it makes them feel very settled, and us younger women are able to look up to that. So we're not scared. When we look at you like embracing it nicely, we're just like, oh, this is gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that people don't care about how they look. As much as a lot of people say, oh, I don't care how I look. I don't agree. I think that I'm not asking you to deck yourself with thick makeup and all that. I'm just saying, when you wake up and you take time to take care of your hair, your skin, how you smell, or at least and then when someone says, "Oh, you're looking nice," that does give you very good, right?
Yes.
And although I'm not someone who put a lot of makeup and all that, but I do like makeup, and most important for me is making sure that my skin is good, because I'm very particular about my skincare routine. So yeah, and I use my face mist and supplements to help me with all the moisture, because as you get older, it is dry, and that's where you get a lot of wrinkles. And
yeah, I mean, like before taking care of just like the external, I think that we all need to have a routine that takes care of our internals, like our diet, and then of course, because as much as you put on, if your skin underneath or it is not healthy, then as much as you do, you're not going to feel like it's doing anything.
Correct.
And the best feeling is when you wash your face and you actually feel fresh, and you look at your skin and you're like, oh, I actually naturally glow without like 1 centimeter of powder.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it'd be great, and I do. I mean, diet. Making sure you eat well, and not in terms of quality. Opt for quality is against quantity. That's what I say, because we all have to indulge occasionally, but yeah, opt for the healthy options. I think we will be talking about diet with a specialist very soon in our future podcast. But for now, we're looking at making sure that you have all your fiber and vegetables and fruits in our diet. So, what would you say to moving fashion forward from being a beauty queen to a young mom, and now
a chubby mom?
A chubby mom, I would say so. I think she looks great and confident, right?
I think that it's really just embrace the process that you go through, whatever your body is at that point of time. If you are not willing to make the changes in your diet or go and exercise, then do not be a hypocrite to yourself, and do not then start like blaming your body for how it is. If you're choosing to make these decisions and choosing to ignore advice, then at least love the state that you're currently in. Dress it. Do not wear things that are too tight. Embrace these changes. There's so much fashion out there.
Yeah.
Find what works for you. Actually, something that's trending in Korea now is this thing called like color theory, where they hold up like you go for a consultation, they hold up this piece of paper and they have different color boards, like a paint shop,
right?
These color sheets, and they literally find the colors that work for you based on like
your skin tone,
the shape of your face, like everything. So don't just hate on yourself. Go find out what works for you, and automatically when you feel good, you'll start taking a bit more initiatives to take care of the other things.
All right.
Like
so
confidence.
When you start to feel good, you will also that confidence comes back, and I can only speak for women in their 50s. Then if you are looking to put yourself out there again, why not? Why not? Yeah, exactly. So lots of things to think about, and I hope you enjoy our podcast. Please leave comments on what are your fashion styles like, and what is your pain point, as in which part of your body that you dislike most. For me, it's my little Esther right here. Okay, great. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.